Hello and welcome to episode 19 of Flesh and Pod. My name is Abby and I am your host. With me, as always, are Logan and Jordan. Logan, what did you do in Flesh and Blood this week?
Nothing too awe-inspiring. Played WTR draft on Thursday for our normal armory night.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, I always draft ninja, so whatever. And then played ninja today at our first ever playing Flesh and Blood at a brewery event.
That's so cool.
I know, right? This brewery's actually just dope too. It's got super tons of space, and they're just like, yeah, you guys want to come in and do that shit? Great. So we just had a cash tournament.
That's awesome.
Everybody pays $10. We pay out 100% of the money. Let's go. And we're gonna wrinkle it every month. We're gonna do a monthly and wrinkle it every month. This wrinkle was Starvo is banned. So CC with no Starvo.
The dream, apparently.
Yeah, we had our decks. We only had 6 players, but we had 2 Bravo showstoppers.
Okay.
Because reasons. We had a Rhinar.
Hell yeah.
We had a Prism. I was playing Katsu.
Okay.
And we had a Dawnblade Dorinthia, or as they like to refer to it, Dumpster Dory, because it plays attack actions. It's not traditional Dory.
Gotcha.
It's what if we just played Snatch in Dory and then follow the leaves. So 2-2. I lost 2 very close ones to Prism for the first time with Katsu. I have trained our Prism player very well as to how to play against Ninja, so I'm proud of myself for training him to beat me finally. He was 0-4 lifetime against me going in, so feels good for him. And I lost to the Dumpster Dorinthia because it was somebody very good playing, friend of the podcast, Egg and White, and he big brained me on attack. So can't feel real bad, but still feels kind of bad. So yeah, and then we did a little bit of testing, running Chain into the same Dorinthia deck just to see what kind of game that Dorinthia deck would want to play, because we're testing in a non-Bravo or Starvo world. Just we'll talk about that later because I got work.
Well, that's good because they banned it, right?
Oh, fuck you. What did you do in Flesh and Blood, you ass?
So actually I played quite a bit of Flesh and Blood this week compared to my usual weekly norm. I went to an open play on Monday. I'm getting a buddy into the game, and him and I played a few games of Blitz on Monday night, and then afterwards I played a few games of Blitz with friend of the show, Nick. He's Prism Mommy in our Discord.
Light Mommy Enthusiast.
Mommy Enthusiast, excuse me. Yeah. We played some Kano versus OTK Rhinar for full degenerate. Let's just kill each other on turn 1 and see who does it first kind of vibes. So that was fun. Today, Abby and I played a little bit. I'll let her talk about those, but and then the other Flesh and Blood stuff we did. But yeah, I was motivated to hit it hard this week, and then they did some things we'll talk about that makes it a little harder to hit it hard. But no, I thought about Flesh and Blood a lot this week. I consumed my usual content loop. I read a lot of the news by virtue of putting the show. By content loop, I mean I listen to the same podcast on the same days and watch the same YouTube video. Fabrica put out a video for the first time in a long time.
Thank God.
Yeah. They're doing it from Kiev too. Absolutely just fucking crazy. Ukrainians are nuts, man. There's a war on, and they're like, but hold on, we've got to test Dash.
This apartment building might fall down, but Dash needs talked about.
Yeah. Dash might be the dark horse this meta.
That's hardcore as shit.
Yeah.
Okay. If there's bombs around me, I'm not fucking recording Flesh and Blood content.
God,
I'm sitting on my goddamn porch with a shotgun and my beer fridge.
Yeah,
and saying, okay, bring it.
Yeah, and it was the most highly produced video they've done yet. So it was they're good. They're best in class in terms of Let's Play videos.
But holy shit, they're so good at what they do.
Yeah, and it was neat because I would not have blamed them for an instant if they wanted to talk about what was going on, but they didn't, and they just played Flesh and Blood, and I guess that was kind of romantic in a way of hey, we're just gonna play some cards because gestures
gonna do?
wildly at
Yeah.
the world, like the building we're playing in could collapse. But you know what? I've got to test dash into whatever deck we played. So
I wonder if Bolton's good today. What the fuck?
yeah. There's a war on, bub. Did you know that there's a war on?
Yeah, fuck them. They're turning tail and running. Got them.
Yeah, so you should go check out their video. Again, it's the best one they've made so far, in my opinion. But no, I didn't want
They're
to more.
good.
Yeah, they're the best. But yeah, I did my content loop, and that's what I mean by that. And then, other than that, man, just kind of staying in touch with the scene, vibing. Ab, what'd you do?
We played some Blitz.
Congrats. How'd that go?
Yeah. It was what, 50-50?
Probably about 50-50. I played Rhinar OTK, and then what'd you play?
I played Aria. Jordan, I almost took him to the casino because he could not roll poorly. Oh my god.
Okay, so I rolled the dice maybe 10 times, right? I rolled
4 or higher all but once.
And only 1-1. So I think I'm actually on track. I don't think I rolled above average, to be honest.
When I've played that deck, I have done the trigger, and that has been my turn at least 3 times.
Oh yeah,
roll the die. Oh, okay, I just don't do anything
Scabskins,
great.
sure.
Yeah, Scabskins. Yeah, activated that. Yeah, no, the highlight of Abby and I playing games is if there's ever a deck that's like very variance heavy, like Rhinar with Scabskins, or like we played Data Doll one time. We jammed Data Doll back and forth just because we found a goofy deck list online. So like Abby's first, she wanted to play Data Doll first and didn't do anything. She just died. Okay,
Yeah,
didn't put any
Data Doll.
Right, as you do. Right. I put like 15 items into the arena on my first 2 turns and like still lost, but I did the thing. I just like did a bunch of cool stuff, and like she was like, so whenever there's a variance thing, I always seem to like run hot and like do the cool thing as a result of the good variance. And Abby, I'm just like lucky. It's like run good. So
yeah.
Ab, did you do anything else? Flesh and Blood? Did you crack
we opened a box of Monarch. It was very uneventful. But more importantly,
against my protesting, by the way.
I just want to kind of take everyone back a week. Last week we put out predictions and we went around and everyone kind of said what we thought was going to happen. And it turns out I was correct. Crazy.
You were
thought.
I'm going to push back a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did Logan remind me? Did she say she was guessing that only to be the third option?
Yeah, and guess what? I was still the correct option.
But you weren't. So
I was.
Press the pause button.
Yeah.
Because we have a loophole, ladies and gentlemen, that has been introduced into this entire thing. Because they have decided, very, very slickery of them, that there will be another opportunity to discuss whether or not Starva will be in this meta coming in May, which wasn't a thing until it was, right?
Yeah, right. All of the dates are completely arbitrary. May 2nd is the least arbitrary date of arbitrary dates. They were like, you know what, guys, we need to do something else. Which I don't get it, man. Like,
so let's just drill down, right?
Yeah, let's just talk the Turk.
So yeah, in case you haven't heard, there were no fucking changes. With a caveat, a big caveat. I can't even begin to. Okay, so they originally say that no changes, but we will review this again on May 2nd, and with another ban and restricted announcement. Starvo can Living Legend out, and if it has gained enough points on May 2nd, it would retire. That policy must have changed randomly at some point. And also, like, here are all the events that can get Living Legends points. Some of these don't exist.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't that like one of the big things? Was they were like, here are all these events, and it was like, we don't know about literally any
Blitz and Sealed, so no, none of those.
But wait.
And they're like, hold on, it's this. These are the actual events. Okay, now it has a chance to get 160 points. It needs 186 to get Living Legend out, so it's not possible. Oh, hold on. We're putting some events here. Yeah, that's it.
Part trois.
what the fuck?
Yeah. So
That was a very complicated day.
It was crazy. So this came out Monday evening in the U.S. and I'm sitting at Open Play, and a friend of the show and active TO in our Discord, Teague, is sitting beside me, and he like gets the announcement. He goes, "Hey, no changes," and he kind of tells the deal that we just went through. It could change on May 2nd. I pull up the article on my phone, and I see the list of events, and it's like short. He pulls up the list, and in between me pulling it up and him pulling it up, they had edited it once already. So we were looking at two different lists, and he goes, I was like, oh, so it can Living Legend out. And he was like, what do you mean it can't? I'm looking at the math right now. I was like, what are you talking about? And like I show him my phone, he goes, oh, we're looking at different websites. I was like, oh no, this is the same page. So then I refresh mine, and it's different again than his, like, but different than the one that I originally landed. It was wild. Like we watched it happen in real time, and like, and so I guess we can like kind of loop A and B here on our show notes here together. Like they have changed some Blitz events to CC events, and they have changed some. They've added some events that didn't exist. Yeah. To hit it, and like so now it needs 186 from 30, 60, 90, 120 through from 220. 186 from 220, and it didn't win today.
Taiwan.
It has to win the calling in Taiwan. Yep.
It didn't win today.
It was Blitz today. So that's
oh right.
That's my bad. That's my bad.
Okay.
Yeah, today in Dallas was Blitz.
Dallas,
Viscerai. Viscerai won a Blitz.
MVP.
Yeah. But it has to win the calling Taiwan, and 3 out of the 4 battle hardens to
get there.
To get there. Yeah, which again, I don't think that they had that plan in place when they said no bans.
No way.
Based on all of the edits, based on all of the craziness, like I think they were like, oh shit. Like they said, well, he'll be able to Living Legend out. And then after they posted it, some intern that had been trying to tell them all week was like, but guys, he can't Living Legend out. And like they were like, oh no. And like that was what happened.
Okay. So
that was my best like exasperated New Zealander accent, by the way.
That was horrible. Don't ever fucking do it again. I do want to read this paragraph really quick because this is where we get some weird shit.
Yes.
Let's get a little bit.
Oh yes,
this is from the article. So it is our intent for the competitive season through to the end of April to be played out with no changes to the banned and restricted list, and for Pro Tour New Jersey to be the first major event to tackle a new metagame.
Bananas. F.
As such, we are making no changes to Classic Constructed this time. But wait, there's more.
Yeah, that paragraph, if you left that as the paragraph, okay. But go ahead.
The next banned and restricted announcement is scheduled for May 2nd. Is it? Okay, I guess it is now. At which point it is possible that Bravo Star of the Show will have achieved Living Legend status. It is also possible that he will not, and that he is part of the metagame heading into Pro Tour New Jersey. Motherfuckers, pick a lane.
You might be thinking, how are these two paragraphs compatible?
One after another, mind you.
Yeah.
And so let's dissect really quick. So I've got a compliment sandwich for them, which is mostly an open face sandwich.
Okay.
And the compliment's the bread part. That's bad for them because bread should always be the compliment. So I like that they didn't pull the rug out from people who have been testing for the Euro and APAC events. Thank you. These people have put the time in to be preparing for these events under the current metagame. Let them play the metagame out that way. But why in the fuck don't you just say it's going to be legal until May 2nd? And then regardless of points, yeet. Like, why isn't it that? It's real easy to say legal until May 2nd. Just done.
Completely agree.
Done. May 1st is the Battle Hardened in Pittsburgh. May 2nd, gone.
Yep.
They could have just said that. They also then say that they're going to make changes because they're talking about tackling a new metagame. So that's already telling people they're going to be changes. But then you make it so that Bravo may be part of the metagame. That leads me to believe that you have changes outside of Bravo, Star of the Show, that you want to make. And so now you're getting people to guess even harder in their preparation. I do love the people coming out and they're like, the good players, this is skill testing, because the good players will, be able to figure out the best thing to be doing in that shortened period of time. I don't have infinite time. Do you have infinite time? Like, is your day as such that on, what is it, that's going to give about 10 days notice, give or take, that you can just you have time to sit and figure all that shit out in 10 days and have any idea of what's going to happen? No one does.
Yeah, it's a weird spot where it doesn't necessarily reward, like, there is an avenue in which player skill and like high end in game players are rewarded from this, but there is also a lot of variance in the system that it comes down to who guesses the bands correctly, and like that is not what I want the Pro Tour to be testing.
Well, and then also it's the time sync of it, right? Like,
right.
Let's say that I've been helping people test, and we've been guessing at what may or may not happen, and we chose to ignore the things that are problems in our testing because we can see this happening, so we're just not going to touch it. But we could be blindsided and have a matchup that we just never tested because it was in danger, and then have another matchup to test. Or it could be that we sunk all the time in, and then there's again a no changes message, and then we're like, well, shit.
Yeah, I guess that's the best case scenario. Of the bad scenarios, right, where that they do just go back to back, no changes, and Bravo dodges the LL list. Like, I think the best case scenario is this meta that is very solved, and like, like I'm thinking of a guy like Dagon, right, who can just like play Bravo, and like he'll play Bravo and doesn't really need too much work on it from here. Like, I guess that's yeah. Like, I guess that's the best case scenario, is this thing that it is now just like small degrees as opposed to like figuring out a new deck and like a new champion and all that kind of stuff. But I agree with you. I don't think there's anything good. Like, I don't know. April 2nd is an arbitrary date, like we talked about. If your intent was always for this competitive season to play out, you could have set this for after that calling in Taiwan. You could have set this, like you said, you could have set the April 2nd date and then gave futuristic dates for bans. Hey, through May 1st, it's this. I hope we don't start getting monthly BNRs. Like, that's not a world I want to live in. When was the last one? February?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, February was Briar.
It was the Briar one.
Yeah, I guess I can just like look it up. I think it was January. Actually,
January.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I'm just gonna search it in the
it was legal for a calling after it was banned.
January 12th was the last BNR.
Yeah.
And before that, it was September. So it was like 3-ish months at a time, which feels good to me. I actually like that a lot.
And then it goes 3 months, 1 month?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like 3 months, 1 month, and that feels bad. Yeah, because
it feels intent. Like, that's my problem, is the intent.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, if you want a new format to be tested by your best players, have the Pro Tour like a month after the set release, or like the set spoiler, like have release week and be the Pro Tour. That'd be pog. Like, I think I'd be really about that.
I loved that back in the Magic.
Yeah, like that was the peak Pro Tour, right? Like, you would watch the Pro Tour on Friday, see if you could get that cool deck together for F&M that night, then go stomp your friends who didn't get to watch coverage that day, you know?
Never loving shit at people that didn't watch coverage.
Yeah. Then you'd go to the IQ on Saturday and like play that day. Those were the glory days of like competitive Magic, because you got to watch, what did John Finkel bring to this tournament, or what did LSV bring to this tournament?
Reminder, we are not a Magic podcast.
We are not a podcast. That's a great point.
Definitely the best part of those Pro Tours.
You have no clue.
No.
My problem here is the delivery of the messaging and everything else is just the worst communication method possible for all of this at every point.
Yep.
It's like, guys, ladies, gentlemen, people, children of all ages, like, come the fuck on. I mean, just tell us what you want to do, and then do it. If it's future dependent, I don't care. If I know, great. I know what I need to be looking at. I don't know what they're worried about. Like, I just don't get it. Like, why? If you know that you're going to be doing something, say you're doing something without having to contradict yourself in the span of 2 paragraphs.
It's I mean, even calling it 2 paragraphs is generous. It's like 4 sentences.
It's 4 sentences.
Yeah.
Typically speaking, and that's another thing with their writing style is that a paragraph should consist of at least 3 sentences. But we're not going to get into it too much.
Yeah, I think that's modern copy editing for like a texting and Twitter generation. Copy editing is kind of gross. There's like sentence long paragraphs in this, and it's just like, please. But I mean, yeah, ultimately, like I agree with you. Just if you know what you're doing May 2nd, irrespective of a living legend, like just say that. Like I'm okay. Like, cause I think I advocated at one point. I was probably wrong. Advocated at one point for team no changes. I got what I wanted, but like they made it bad. Like this May 2nd thing is bad, right? Like if they were like, hey, no changes until June, when we'll have another BNR, dope, right? Or like, hey, you know what? If Bravo LLs, we'll just do it the weekend after he LLs. That would be not great, but it would make sense.
This is so scuffed already because there's a $100 bet out there in one of the discords on Starvo being yeeted from orbit before the Pro Tour. And we thought this bet was going to be resolved, on Monday. And now I needed to see the receipts because I'm arbitrating this bet. I'm actually not the one with money on the line for once.
Oh, wow. Awkward.
And I'm just kind of arbitrating the bet a little bit. And then the screenshots proved that, again, it just has to happen before the Pro Tour. So I'm like, damn, that is some wordsmithing horse shit right there. And I approve. Like, way to give yourself an out.
Yeah, that's neat. Yeah.
Way to go.
Because they very reasonably could have said on the April 5th BNR and like, you'd have been like, yeah, that would have made sense, but no.
No, worded his way out of it.
Immaculate.
Perfect.
Yeah, man, I don't want to beat the dead horse, but I don't know what's going to happen on May 2nd. Like, if he LLs out, the problem solves itself, okay?
Ish.
I mean, ish, because like then we'll have to worry about like what happens to Viscera and like all that kind of stuff.
Other changes with
right?
Are they going to nuke ALS and scale it up?
Right. There's a lot. There's more, but like the problem is lessened a little bit. If he doesn't, like, does Bravo being part of this new metagame mean like with a crown errata or with like what happens to the shell of Bravo? Because there's no way that they make this paragraph and don't do any. Like I can't see back-to-back no changes.
Can we? I can't either. But can we ban the use of errata on this show? Just even the term or thought, because every time I hear it, I want to like punch a baby, and that's not okay.
You can't punch babies.
You can't punch babies.
Punching babies is strictly worse than my New Zealand accent, and my New Zealand accent is poor.
It's really bad.
So bad.
It's poor.
It's so bad.
Oh my god, it's awful.
I would rather eat Vegemite than punch a baby.
Nope. Okay.
Moving on.
So, Jordan and we haven't gotten to talk about this for a while. But Tales of Aria. No, that's later in the show. Oh my gosh, there's an anonymous raccoon, and I have a story for you about that later. Tales of Aria Unlimited is out of print.
That was Everfest.
Is Everfest? Did Everfest have an unlimited streak?
No.
Okay.
Monarch is out of print. Tales of Aria is out of print. And by all accounts, Everfest is out of print in first edition, and there's no listing for Unlimited. So right now, as of this exact moment, there are 0 in-print sets of Flesh and Blood.
That's a really interesting. I don't know. I don't want to like be React Andy and like be wrong, but that's a really interesting thing.
I don't think that there is going to be an unlimited printing of Everfest.
Oh no, I don't think there will be either. Everfest wasn't received super great, like from like a value.
I love it.
I mean, I think it's a good set. There's some good cards in there, but I don't think from like a value dollars to donuts, like, is it worth it for me to buy a box? It definitely wasn't received well.
I don't know. If Abby pops it, it's probably well worth it.
That's a good point. That's a good point. The grandeur of Valhalla.
But yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it is wild to me that there are 0 sets in print.
Yeah.
None.
I don't know what that means. It might not mean anything.
I think that well, I think this actually is a signal. I think that this is the signal that FAB 1.0 ends with Everfest, and we're officially transitioning to Fab 2.0.
That's fair.
They've talked about that a lot. And there is a James White interview that I think comes out tomorrow on.
I think it's Friday.
Is it Friday? It's
with Covenant, right?
Yep, it's on one of the other friendly podcasts that you should be listening to, because we are not haters around here. One love. And I think that's when we're going to find out.
2 p.m. on Friday.
Okay.
On the Team Covenant channel.
Yeah. We're going to find out a lot. I think that the first and foremost, I firmly believe that there is no unlimited Everfest, which is also pretty interesting, because that might mean that down the road there's not a lot of Everfest that exists, or there's just less Everfest that exists than was originally going to be thought. So if you look at the print number of Monarch,
175,
125,
25. You're right.
25. So 125 boxes of Monarch, 125,000 boxes of Monarch first. So even if you take that and increase it to 150 for Everfest with no unlimited, that's not that much. And people have bought the ever-loving shit out of Everfest. It's not like you see a ton of it sitting on store shelves, right?
Yeah, we did.
You're
such a degenerate, dude. Sorry, Logan. Just for fucking laugh about like overbuying this shitty set that's not worth any money. She just fucking loved it, dude. She cracked a box of Monarch today.
I went 4 for 4 on the important cards there. So,
dude, I am the worst, because I got bored and I was drinking. You know me, how it goes.
Sure.
So I decided that my Katsu deck needed to be all alphas.
Okay.
So now it's just full of pink strips. The whole it's almost head to toe now.
I know in Indy you were getting a little degen buying big strips.
I went for it. So I think I single-handedly spiked the price of alpha ancestral empowerments, because I bought all of them that were under the price of like $70. And so it just made the price $70.
That's crazy.
And I bought like them for 40 or something. But funny. Like it's pretty. I mean, I pink strip Sync Belows and
those are
pink
cool.
strip Ancestrals and pink strip Whelmings and shit.
That's awesome.
And now I have to like first print the rest of it. And first print CNCs are not cheap.
Yeah.
Neither are pink strip and light and strikes.
Oh, I can't imagine those
This is gonna hurt.
Yeah,
this is gonna hurt.
I
did it myself.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you were excited about it in Indy, so
I did myself.
Yeah. I don't know. We took this news and bought some first edition boxes just to hold for the long haul.
Yeah, I did too.
You did as well. Yeah. Ultimately,
Collector.
Yeah, right. Like ultimately, Hobbyist. Yeah, right. With being into the pink strips and stuff, I don't know if I think they'll gain too much money. Like I think the Welcome to Wraith Alpha days are dead, probably. But then again, if Flesh and Blood lasts X years, and if Everfest truly is the last time we see print runs in the way that we understand them today, like who knows?
Yeah, I've been super into like digging up some of the weirder shit. So I bought a 2-player Aria playmat.
Oh, that's cool.
Those are cool, right? And it's honestly a very good teaching mechanism.
Yeah.
For new players, because it explains everything on the mat. But also those were sent out to stores as for a retail appreciation kit, and they were sent out in 2019 or 2020. So there just aren't a ton of them, but at the same time, it's like a very cool thing to have. My next thing is I'm probably gonna try to chase down a lore book, because why not? So there's just some really cool shit that's out there.
Cool shit. This era mat's cool as fuck. What the hell?
I know, right?
What? I've never seen this before. This is super neat.
That's exactly. A lot of people have never seen that mat.
How much did you get yours for?
300.
I'm on eBay for 4.
That's why I snapped off 300.
Yeah. Man, this is really neat.
Right? It's like a cool ass mat.
You just drag this to your local learn to plays and like
set it up, ready to go.
The shit.
Oh.
Yep,
Fancy.
there we go. We did it.
$3.95 is what one just sold for. Man, Troll and Toad's got them for
Ugh,
that can't
never
be right.
buy from Troll and
$70.
Toad. Yeah, just don't buy from Troll and Toad.
Just item $70. Ugh. They're not going to
That's
respond to
good.
my $70 request, but no, I mean,
Yeah,
like I think
very cool.
you're right that there's some cool collector stuff to be had, like in this game.
Yeah,
and
and it explains every zone on the playmat. It
That's a
has
really
a chain
cool-
for the chain links.
really
It's
cool item.
just Sweet.
That's a really cool item. But no, I mean, so like, what do you think this means that there are currently nothing in play or nothing in print? Do you think?
I think it means there's been a lot of bubble and talk about how LSS is not happy with the first edition model. They've said it, honestly,
right.
on the first edition unlimited model, and they said they're going to be correcting that with their Fab 2.0 vision. I think that this is that. In order to have a line of demarcation of sorts, you kind of have to cut it off somewhere. And I think Everfest is that cutoff.
Sure.
I think that's why everything's out of print right now, is because the new model of how they want things to happen started when they started printing the next set. They've obviously already started printing the next set. It takes typically from print to distribution about 4 months to print, package, ship for card games on a mass scale. So in this case, they would have started printing this set in December-ish, January. Well, no, because it releases in June, right? So they probably started printing it in February. Yeah, probably in February.
Yeah, it's probably at the printer right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's being created right now. First edition is being, if there is a first edition, let's be clear here.
Right.
I think that my ideal world would have first edition and Unlimited come out at the same time.
When did we get that Flake interview that said we are working on Fab 2.0? I have my podcast app up
believe
here.
It was February.
Search.
You think
it was
January,
February? Tanning Grace Tarek, James White's was February 2nd. So yeah, actually that lines up very well.
That lines up. Yeah.
Yeah, it lines up very well.
I think that's where we're at. And I think we're going to get whatever the next set is in limited and unlimited release at the same time.
And it doesn't seem like the current system was working for anyone. Like Druid on Twitter was on Flake's podcast this week, and I won't say everything. You should go listen to it. But he indicated that it used to be for every box of first edition a store bought from their provider, they had to buy 3 unlimited.
Correct.
And like, yikes. That's for a guy that's never bought an unlimited box in his life. Yikes, you know, like
What?
The unlimited box we opened today, we got for free when we bought Everfest.
Well, you've never bought a box of WTR?
Oh, you know what? You're right. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Yeah, you're right. I'm dumb.
I mean, put you in correction corner to fucking live in real time.
Yeah, sorry. I've just been playing this game for like 400 years, and it all kind of blends together after so long.
You were making the Statue of Liberty while you were playing Flesh.
Yeah, it just kind of all blends together. Me and James White were chilling with the Ellis Island people, and
give me your tired and your poor.
Yeah. Give me your.
Wait, didn't we determine it's not Ellis Island? Isn't it on?
No, Ellis Island. The Statue of Liberty is not on Ellis Island, but Ellis Island is where all of like the
processing facility.
Crossing, yeah.
Correct. Okay,
yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, the Statue of Liberty is on a different island that is part of the same national monument.
Isn't it Liberty Island?
Yeah.
Liberty Island.
Yeah, and that's all part of the same national park. Yeah.
All right.
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddle masses. You're going to be free of the wretched records of your tempest shores. Send me
thought that way now.
Oof. I'm trying to remember the entire poem. So
that's pretty good. That's pretty I got like the first stanza, but
I've literally been drinking since noon.
That's
so
pretty good for drinking this dude.
7 hours at this point.
So I don't.
Good.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm trying to move it along. So get your last thought in.
Oh, I was just gonna say that it doesn't seem to be working for anybody. I'm excited to see I hope it's an announcement on Friday. I mean, anytime you get James White on your show, it's cool anyway because he is very frank and
Can we get James White? Fuck.
Probably not. Probably not.
Tweet at him.
Try. I guess we'll tweet at James White. He follows like one person and doesn't tweet. So
yeah. Well, I'll see if I can like.
I don't even know.
Flake, if you're listening, help us get James White. Any rate. So that'll never that's not gonna happen. But yeah, I guess moving on. Sure, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm good too.
All right, so the last news update we have. So we have a spoiled card from the Pro Tour. It is Taylor. If you have not seen Taylor, it is a shapeshifter hero. And then the text is, you may have equipment of any class or talent in your inventory. Oh, Jordan.
Yeah, what about it?
No, look at Logan.
Uh-oh, it's a 2-beer show.
There it is.
There it is.
That was so disappointing.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do it.
I literally paused the card for you. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. I fucked it up.
I'm sorry, everyone. That was terrible. You deserve better. Okay. You may have equipment of any class or talent in your inventory. Each equipment in your starting inventory must have a different name. At the start of your turn, you may banish an equipment you control. If you do, equip a card of the same subtype from your inventory.
This is a cool program.
Your tunic to go get a carrion husk. Let's fucking go. Fuck blocking with tunic. We just upgrade tunic. This is cool. This is dope as shit.
Yeah.
I follow quite a bit of the podcast communities for both Magic and Flesh and Blood. I would definitely encourage everybody to do so. You see some of the coolest shit. I mean, they put insane amounts of time and effort into what they do to make things look awesome. And my hat's off to your Olivia Gilbert Hicks and your Chalices and your Christine Sprankles of the world and everybody else. You know, I'm not trying to be. It's not an exhaustive list to list those three, but those are the ones that just came to mind immediately. A couple of things that I've loved is so the first thing that Christine Sprankle did is say working on my cosplay for Taylor right now, and it was just her in a corgi onesie laying on bed, and I'm just like, perfect. We've all now figured out that Taylor, being a shapeshifter, is probably just the dog.
It would be great if it were the dog.
Yeah, right. But this is such a cool thing. To reward the podcast the podcast community. We don't get rewarded. We are our own reward. But to reward the cosplay community because they do so much cool shit. And it's not easy, man. Like, it just isn't. Like,
you have to be very talented to do that kind of stuff, to even have the vision for it.
And then want to be part of it, right? Like to take the public perception of it and like to be in the public eye while doing it takes, that's a lot of spoons for people to just be dressed up as something and then having people want to run up and take pictures and stuff like that. Like that takes a lot of energy.
That is a lot of spoons.
Like that's a lot, man. And fucking hats off.
Yeah.
Like, hats off LSS. Like I know that we give them shit, but God, they do so many cool things for the community and so many cool things for the player base, and now that just the actual people that build community for them. Not to dump on anybody or anything, but it took Wizards of the Coast like 3 years longer than it did to give like Fire Shoes a fucking preview card.
Yeah.
And LSS is just out there immediately going, nope, we are rewarding the community. We are about community. And fuck, that feels good.
And
it feels so good.
And I'll say this about the cosplay, like the high-end cosplayers, like, like the Chalices of the world, right? She is probably her and Christine, or like, and who was the third one?
Olivia Gilbert Hicks.
Yeah, Olivia. And like you said, again, not an exhaustive list, but they were actively like out there going, hey, we've all been asked to do this because the promo is for like official cosplayers at the Pro Tour. But like Chalice, for example, was like, I don't know what that means. I'm going to see if we can get more people involved because that'd be really cool. So they're even like trying to expand the pool of people that are eligible for this. Like it's a good community. So if you're into that, like that stuff, like if you're talented, even if you're not, and you just want to fucking try it, like hats off to you, man. Like go give it a go. And like,
also, if there's a cosplayer that wants to come on and talk about their cosplay, we're open.
Yeah.
I would love to talk to a cosplayer, honestly. I mean, I'm fascinated. I mean, I'm a person that loves to be on stage, right? Love and hate to be on stage. But I don't know that I'd ever choose to be on stage like that, to be in a room full of people, complete strangers that want to just run up and take pictures.
Oh my god, no way.
and
Zero.
have to engage like in that kind of thing. Like my patience for just handling swarms of people is very high. And I don't know that I'd want to test that. And so they do that, and they do it with a fucking smile. And they're just happy that people are happy with what they do in a lot of these cases. And I'm just like, I'm in awe of both their work, their attitude, and what they bring to the community. I'm completely in awe, and I can't say enough about how much I appreciate what they do.
That, like, but you know, we're aware of this to a large degree. Abby probably more so, that like the average TCG player at a tournament is kind of like a fucking weirdo, and like there's no way that every interaction these people have is like appropriate. You know, like I see what people say to, you know, these women on Twitter. There's no fucking way that they're better in person.
Jesus Christ.
Like, oh my god. So the fact that you have to like put yourself out there to the people that you know are fucking weirdos, and like that, and you do it again, like you said, with a smile on your face, and like all you ever talk about is the good stuff. Like me, I have like one opponent that looks at me kind of mean one time in one round, and I talk about it for a month. Like these guys are like, oh no, it's the best. I've never had a weirdo in my life, and you know that's not true. Like I fucking follow you on Twitter. Like, you know,
I've seen the weirdos.
yeah. Like I download them now because you can on Twitter now. I don't know what it does, but I click it because it makes me feel good. But you can download tweets now.
Oh, downvote. I thought you said download. I'm like,
oh no.
you're just keeping receipts?
Oh god, that'd be kind of insane, actually. But no, yeah, I mean, like these people are insane. Like, and it's always good. Like, yeah, there's no bad cosplays. Even the low budget ones are great. So like whether you're just starting out in the game or you're you know, a high ender, like you're dope.
Yeah, I yes, hats off. Like,
yeah,
way to fucking go, man.
Yeah, I wish I was talented enough to.
Don't sell yourself so short.
Listen, I am.
You are like 5'3".
I am great at a lot of things. Crafting is not.
Got Jordan.
That was a good one. That was a banger.
Not at all. Also, it's really hard to sew with small hands. So.
Is it?
I have to imagine that it'd be better with small.
I'm not good at it, and I have small hands, so that is the assumption you have to make. I think that
smaller hands would be more deft. That was my impression.
That would be my guess as well. Yeah.
No, my hands, they just can't do it. Anyway, so our Reddit thread of the week this week is a tweet.
It is a Reddit post for what it's worth.
Yes, it is a Reddit post of a picture of a tweet. So the tweet is hot fab take. The aggressive competitive / major event season is begging for people to develop burnout. 3 things Fab can do. 3 things Fab can do ease the constant grind.
I think they missed a word.
That's not
ease the constant grind.
One. Yeah, it's not great. 1, eliminate the 90-day XP system for the PTI. 2, double the amount of invites granted at events. Or 3, eliminate skirmish season.
Okay, let's tackle these one by one. 1, eliminate the 90-day XP system for PTI. I think that's coming anyway. I think that turns to ELO as soon as there is enough people generating ELO, enough events to generate ELO to make that a thing. 2, double the amount of invites granted at events. No. Just no. I think that the size of nationals was, in the US at least, and I think from other nationalities that I saw, seemed right, seemed not bad. Why are we doubling invites? Why are we making every high-end tournament or upper echelon tournament just a fucking calling? Like, no, hard pass. Eliminate skirmish season. I mean, they kind of do that already by having skirmish season. I mean, it's considering it's only ever draft or blitz. It's there for the casual crowd. It's not there for the hardcore competitive crowd. At least that's my opinion of skirmish season.
Well, I think the criticism from and I agree with you, but I think the criticism would be that in a world where 90-day XP exists, you're incentivized to go to every skirmish that exists.
Yeah, somebody got a ton of upvotes for the comment, having a clear pathway.
You're gonna read my fucking comment to me?
Oh, it's you.
You piece of shit. I know you saw.
Oh wow. I'm German. Weird.
Weird. I didn't know there was two of us. There is one guy that has a fucking account on some website that I tried to register for that was Amsterdam, and it's not me. And I've had this account since I was 10, and on like everything. And it's just one random account from one random website. It was Amsterdam, and I don't know if it was like randomly generated by the program or what, but it made me so mad.
I turned 10 in 1990.
So yeah, I was. That was 2001.
I was not born in 1990.
Y'all were sperm still. Okay.
Yeah, I'm 31.
Yeah, Jordan is officially old.
Yeah.
Is that what it takes?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you
Well,
very
that's
much.
what it was for me, so that's what it is for him.
Thank you.
I'm sure I have a gift for you here. I just would have to find
I'll just win in the next giveaway.
That's right.
You can't enter our fucking giveaway.
I enter it every time.
All of
literally every time
you
I
like the tweet or whatever, but you're not entering the giveaway. Jesus, guys.
I should be.
No, but yeah, I did make a reply to this, and that's kind of how I found it for Reddit thread of the week. But like, I reject the idea that like we should get rid of skirmish season. Like you said, it's not designed for you or me. At the end of the day, it's designed for your guy that goes to the it's designed for hobbyists for sure.
I wanted a cold foil chain, and I got one.
There you go. But like having that clear pathway from competitive or from casual to competitive is important. And like I said on the post, like my biggest fear is that like you don't have small steps anymore. A player should feel like, oh, I go from open play nights at my store or like dicking around with my friends to an armory. And then, oh, you're holding a skirmish this weekend and it's designed for players like me. That's dope. I'll go. And then, oh, there's bigger tournaments that qualify me for even bigger ones. I'll go to that. And oh, wow, there's these massive open tournaments. That's cool. I'll do that. And like, that's the natural progression. And I think that's what players go through. And like at every point in every player's life, like, you know, we've been doing this a long time, so like I don't exactly remember like the steps I took at this point, but like it was pretty close to like casual play with friends to FNMs, like the armory event of Magic, to Pro Tour qualifiers to the next thing, you know.
Yeah, Magic Life predates FNM, so
that's fair. That's fair.
But
yeah,
it was definitely draft got me into playing competitive sealed, got me qualifying for things that were constructed, and that was the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So qualifications through, and this is one of the things I will harp on, is I think that there needs to be a qualifying season of sealed or limited or something, just to give another decent pathway. I know that skirmish is kind of about that pathway if you want to grind skirmishes, considering that they're 6Xs, which is more than a fucking calling.
Yeah, we have to talk about that at some point. Not tonight, but at some point. It's miserable, but
okay. But yeah, it's a. I feel like skirmishes aren't for that. They're for getting people in, get a little extra XP. XP, you can make XP matter in a bunch of different ways. It doesn't have to be qualification, but I do think that actual qualification seasons need to exist in formats that aren't constructed. I think limited play is the lifeblood of a game starting out, because that's the best way to get cards in people's hands.
Yep.
Full stop. People
Completely
can play
agree.
limited without owning a card.
Completely agree.
So
you know the rules, you can play this game. Yep.
Done.
Yep.
And I can teach you in 20 minutes.
Yep. Yeah,
ready to go.
Yeah, we could do a learn to play an hour before the tournament starts, and then you could play in the tournament later today.
Right.
Yep.
That matters so much as a gateway for people that I believe there needs to be a qualifying season to entice people, that's limited, to entice people in more. I have an untold number of Magic people that if there was a limited Flesh and Blood season, and there was local events with qualifications, they would just play. They would say, "Teach me the game," and just sign up immediately. Do that.
Yeah, for a game that is built with limited in mind, it has a surprisingly lack of competitive limited events.
It's limited support in general. It's kind of lacking.
Yeah. And like, we talked about supplemental sets and the value of that they bring, and that's, I don't want to debate that because I don't think I'd win, but like the fact that there are sets that aren't draftable and we go through 6 months periods of time. I mean, so Tales came out in September.
I mean, it's
so
been longer than that.
Yeah,
it's
we're 7 or it'll be 9. Yeah. between draftable sets, and like you can't really get a Tales of Aria draft most places now. You know, like actually, I'll say this: the stores here do a great job at drafting old sets as well. Like Beyond the Board that Teague runs, they incorporate sealed and draft into their armories and stuff like that. They actually do a really good job. But like on like
we do that around here too. The stores around here do it too.
But reading like online, it's really tough for people to find a draft, and like it's really tough to like you go to like a calling and you can only draft Tales of Aria, and like even then like drafts don't fire. So like, you know, like I was talking about before the show about wanting to maybe get the unlimited calling or the unlimited limited package for the PT, but like I don't know, I don't want to just do 2 drafts and like that'd be
3
it for
drafts
me.
and 2 sealed, sir.
Oh, that's right, 3 drafts and 2 sealed.
And I think you can actually buy each package multiple times.
Okay, do you really?
So you could just buy that one twice and have 4 sealeds and 6 drafts.
That's actually not bad.
And 2 Yorks and 2 things of sleeves.
It's not bad.
I'm probably going to do that because I already got the answer the call package and 1 limited package. I'll probably just buy another limited package.
I don't know what you get with the constructed one. I don't think we talked about the constructed one's like garbanzo value, right?
No, it's pretty good. You get the sleeves, not the constructed one, the answer the call one to play in the calling.
Sorry, I meant the constructed package.
Yeah, that one's not so great.
Yeah, because it's the same price as the limited one, right?
Unless you love playing CC right now, which if you do, like, you also probably identify with the killer in 7. So we need to have a conversation about you and your sociopathy and whether or not you belong in a room full of people. But
Jesus.
yeah, I don't think the constructed one's very good, but the limited ones are really good.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that for sure. But no,
I also love playing limited.
Yeah, Hooray. yeah, playing limited is just great. You know, maybe I'll draft my cube someday. Maybe.
Bring it to Jersey, we'll draft the shit out of it.
That's a good point.
We'll be there on fucking Thursday.
Through
Tuesday.
I need to figure out what we're doing for that.
Shouts out to our buddies on Fresh and Buds because they said stay later. There's shit to do, and so I'm staying later. There's shit to do.
Dope.
Tommy's like, yeah, just stay till Tuesday. There's breweries everywhere, and I'm like, man, speaking my language. So Sunday we're gonna get fucked up, and he's like, oh yeah, Sunday we can go get fucked up. All right, cool. Not that I would drink. Yeah, you know what? I'm drinking on the goddamn.
We have a bit about drinking on the podcast.
Yeah.
God.
Close. All right, so we have 2 listener questions this week. First one is from Teague, and it is for Logan and Jordan. So earlier this year, you were lamenting a dead period in competitive events with ProQuest 1, Skirmish 4, Pro Tour 1, and ProQuest 2 all in a short period. How are you feeling now about the pace? Is it too much? Is it just right?
Jordan, you're up.
What'd you say?
Jordan, you're up.
Okay. I thought this was a good question because we did kind of jump up and down on lack of stuff to do. I still am annoyed at the lack of major events like callings. To a large degree, we talked about that a little bit last week, and that's kind of our general mantra is that like at the end of the day, I'm a big event guy. That's what gets me excited. I have a really hard time going to play like F&Ms or like armories just because like in the throes of life, I have a hard time setting aside time for like weekly commitments. I'm just bad about that, right? So I would like to see more Grand Prix or calling sized events, or like a secondary circuit like what the Realm's trying to do that I could go grind events for that are big deals, right?
He's the man. Love that guy.
The guy's dope. That being said, in terms of the like weekly in-store organized play program, there is a lot going on, and it does seem like it's a little bit fast-paced. I can definitely imagine that from like a TO perspective of like you don't really have much time to assess where you're at in between after events, like you don't have that much time to reflect before you move to the next one. As a player, if you're trying to do that 90-day XP style, like it would feel like a lot. The ProQuest starting on the first day of the Pro Tour feels bad to some degree. We talked about that last week a lot. I don't think too much about skirmishes because outside of trying to qualify via the 90-day XP like system, this is supposed to be your off season, right? Like if you're not qualified for the PT and you don't care about Blitz, you are in like a downtime, and you can approach the skirmish season kind of as laissez-faire as you want. So I guess it feels fine, but sometimes fast paced. But like from like the out of store play, like from the big picture thing, I think it's slow. I think we could afford to have more than one calling every 3 months.
Yeah. Okay, so my turn.
Yeah.
Everything that Jordan said. I hate the hurry up and wait. I
Yeah.
hate we have all these things to do. Hooray! When can I go sit in a room of 500 people and play fucking Flesh and Blood?
Yeah.
Don't know at all. Shit. And that also goes for people that want to organize events like the Realm or whatever, where they're like, when can I put this? Because I don't know what you're going to do in June. You've told me nothing. I could go, you know what? I'm going to slap a 5K tournament right here, June 10th.
Pick a day,
and then go Detroit calling weekend. God, what the fuck are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yep.
Like so while I get where Teague's going with this and I appreciate it, take skirmish for example, right? My goal was to play in exactly 2 skirmishes. It was to go to 1, spike it, get a cold foil hero, and then trade that cold foil hero for a cold foil chain. Instead, I just got the cold foil chain, so eliminated a step. And then play in my local to play the memes and to introduce some new people into and just be a more of a community person in that event
Space, sure.
and not be spiky or anything else, just kind of like go have fun. And I did. It was a blast. Then we did a draft after it, also a blast. ProQuest seasons, I will just go play them. Like, thank you. But I would rather be able to go, okay, I'm gonna play ProQuest this weekend. I'm gonna take a weekend off, then I'm gonna travel to
Pick a city. Yeah.
To go play Flesh and Blood for 3 days. And then take a weekend off and go play in a ProQuest. That'd be great. Instead of like saying, okay, where can I find double ups? Now I have to, is this worth doing? And all of that, where I could be doing something that's more of a convention and more of an event feel than this is kind of fun feel. So while I think I understand Teague's question about the pace, I also think that there are 2 different paces. And while I'm good with the ProQuest, if this is the just general pace that we're going to go ProQuest into skirmish, into ProQuest, into skirmish, and then into RTN, great. I love that for your qualifier type things. I think that pace for those store level events is very good. But the pace of larger events is piss poor, and the communication of when those events is going to happen is far too short of notice.
Yep. And even like, let's say like, hey, Jordan Logan, there's a bunch of battle hardens out there. You're not, at SCG cons, and you're not complaining about, you're complaining about that and lack of those. Well, even then, they just added like 5 because they want to ban the fucking card, but they don't have the balls to ban the card. So like, we don't know, and I'm not mad at any particular thing. I'm just mad in general because like,
unpack that, right?
Yeah.
That's the same as the store level qualifier.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right. Well, there's 2 slots at a battle hardened, right?
Sure, but I don't care.
Right.
I want the full weekend of having a large event and then another large event behind it.
Yeah.
And then the in-betweens of being able to have enough players there to just fire drafts and firesides and cube with people and get drinks.
Yeah. Get a good dinner after day 1.
Engage with this community that is great.
Right. Watch a grown man get a baked potato with just chives.
Just chives. Just
chives.
Snap it off. Just chives.
Oh, that's a $40 baked potato. He just put chives on it.
I can't. I give him shit to this day.
Oh my god. He was like, hey, anybody want to split up a $300 bottle of wine and $300 bottle of wine? And we're like, you know what? You just ordered chives. I don't trust your taste in wine.
Last night, right. And then last night after Armory, I was just like, everybody's like, hey, everybody want to go out to eat? And he's just like, no, I think I miss my dog. I think I want to go see my dog. And I'm like, is it named Chives? Like, just dead ass.
Good dagger.
No, I think I would have named it Potato Skin. I'm like, what's on your potato skins? Fucking chives? Are you a real bacon and cheese?
Oh god.
Like, I was just, I'm still incensed.
It was so wild. $300 bottle of wine, but then a $40 baked potato with just chives.
Just chives.
Oh,
sorry,
god.
Just chives. No butter.
Yeah. She goes, yeah, do you want
cheese,
it loaded? Like, for $5 more, you can get it loaded. He goes, no, just chives. And everybody was like, that kid. She's like, yeah, so like butter and chives? No. Take all that other shit out of there. Literally, the potato,
Yeah.
pour a bunch of green and edible shit on top of it, and then I'm gonna put that in my mouth.
I would like my potato flavored with garnish, please.
And that was the first time like a lot of us had met him, right?
The Iowa crew had met him a couple of times.
Okay, because he was new to Flesh and Blood. Is that more
relatively
accurate? Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, he was deployed with one of the other pretty standard bearers of the Des Moines community, the most drunk standard.
Gotcha. No, cool guy. I just remember being like, what the fuck? Who invited this guy?
Well, dude's fun. He's a good time, but Jesus, man.
Yeah, who invited this jive motherfucker? Like,
again, if we have to discuss sociopathy in the group, this is the beginning of this conversation. Is just chives. Come the fuck on, just chives.
Oh God. All right. Question number 2 is from Josh. Sorry. If you were going to design your own class for the next set, what would it be? How would it play? And what would make it unique?
You know,
I actually have an answer for this one. If you guys don't.
Go ahead first.
I want you to go. Yeah.
Go ahead first.
So I would make a rogue, and the like ability or like how the deck would go would be all about like stealing cards. So like taking cards out of their hand or out of their discard pile, whether you like take the cards out of their hand and discard it, or like take it out and put it in your hand and play it. Like, that's fine. Either of those are fine. But that's what I would want the like basic structure to be.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Like, yeah, like you banish cards from their pool of resources, and then you play them from their banish zone. That's kind of neat. Yeah, because at first when you said rogue, I was like, well, ninja like exists, but then that's a very different feel than like what the ninjas that we currently have are. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want pirates.
What would pirates do? What do pirates do?
So my idea of pirate is I want them to have an ability that plays into the ship part of pirates. So my idea was the ability is broadside, and it costs 5 resources. Choose one. Put a load counter on your hero once per turn action. Put a load counter on your hero, go again. Or remove a load counter, deal 7 damage, physical damage to the opposing hero, go again. And each costs 5. So it's 10 for 7 over 2 turns. But it does have go again.
Oh, wow. That's really strong, it feels like.
But like it costs 10 over 2 turns. Because you can't do them both in one turn.
Sure.
So it's load, and then your opponent knows it's coming. Or can be coming. So I think that has a level of play around to it. And it doesn't do anything else, and it requires 2 cards to fire. Like, you don't just get to, pitch a blue to shoot it. It's going to cost 2 cards to deal the 7, which is on par with Guardian. So it requires 4 cards over the course of 2 turns to do the thing, but the thing it does is pretty good.
And it would just be raw damage, so it's unblockable? Is that the... No,
it's physical damage, so it can be blocked. It's like
so the weapon, it's like a weapon that attacks for 7.
Right. It's
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. That's really interesting.
Something along those lines.
That's kind of cool.
It needs a lot of fleshing out. That's off the dome, but
yeah, I like
would
that.
Do something like that. It seems fun.
I thought of a goblin.
It also have like a parrot.
Oh yeah, no, like a parrot offhand. Well, I guess a cannon would be 2 hands.
I mean, cannon. Yeah, well, a cannon's gonna just be a.
It can be like an item, like the parrot, and maybe like it copies like something if they play something with 1 or less, it copies an effect. I don't know.
Obviously, the pirate equipment is the wooden leg. So
what do you do with it? What does the wooden leg do? That'd be really interesting.
It's the only armor you can attack with.
Okay. Well, I was thinking that maybe it stores. You know how people say like he's got a wooden leg when they drink a lot. Maybe it stores resources for you.
Oh, you can break it to attack for 1.
Okay. Oh yeah, just like
swing the leg. Yeah, it's a fucking club.
Into this combat chain. Discard it.
I would call it a club, so you can pummel it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I thought of a goblin.
A class.
Yeah, like I guess like that's more of a race, isn't it?
That really seems like a race.
Yeah, and I guess like we already have like merchant, but like my thought was something that like stored resources for you. I alluded to that a little bit with like the wooden leg thing, but like something that stored resources for you, or maybe gave you like like goblins in World of Warcraft are like the money class, right? Like they're your time is money, friends. Yeah, exactly. So like maybe your blues pitch for an additional 1, or like maybe your reds pitch for blue value, you know, something like that. Like I think ultimately it wouldn't be that great, but it would be a fun multiplayer card. Like maybe everybody's, right, or like you can tax a player, like all of like you frostbite them, or
player sounds awesome.
Yeah, like you give them like you channel like frigid them as like a hero ability, you know.
But you get the resource.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Like
an extra, and you get the resource the next turn.
The next turn, right. Like every time they play something, it costs 1 more, and you get it.
It can't be every time. It has to be like the first time each turn.
I don't know, man. Why not? Let's just try it.
Fuck, man.
They made Starvo, so we can make anything.
Well, this is also how I know that I am not a game designer, because I have thought about this question since it was asked, and like I don't have a good answer. I don't have a cool answer. Like that's how I know that like anything I say about game design, when I'm like, yeah, LSS should do this, I'm a fucking idiot. Like you should not listen to me about making a game, you know. But
I know, very endearing trait.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm smart enough to know that I'm an idiot. Like so that's that. Ab, we did get one question via email last minute that I didn't get to add to the sheet.
I'm stressed out about it now.
Is it about possums?
No, it's not about possums. I added it. I answered it via email because we talk about this a good bit on the show. It's a common question we get, but I did say that I'd bring it up. Craig and his friends just got into Flesh and Blood. They bought the Blitz decks and instantly fell in love with the game. And they're trying to talk about how to get into the game and like start up. And like we talk about this question a good bit. And he's thinking about opening 1 box a month and like building decks out of the cards they open, or should they just jump on into competitive play and like build the stuff up and slowly grow the collections once they have a tier 1 deck. And he said that he loves the show, and it's the first podcast he ran into, which makes me feel great because it means, it means the SEO optimization is working. So thank you very much, Craig.
I just want to thank people for loving Abby as much as they do.
Yeah, people are super dope to Abby online too, so that's nice.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, sometimes I get treated like shit. Like people don't acknowledge when I do things for them.
Yeah, well, they thank me.
Yeah, well, you know.
Do you blame them?
No.
Damn.
I've never blamed anybody for treating me like shit ever.
I think that's no problem.
Totally fine.
You should hear about our Lord and Savior therapy. Fuck it.
My therapist is in my hand. It's cool.
That's good. So for audio people, he's talking about beer, not some other. Whatever.
Oh God, yeah. Sorry.
He's not doing a flush and pod.
Yeah, nope, I am not embodying the initials of our show. I am just indulging.
He's just drinking a beer,
beverage.
Yeah.
So,
what I told Craig was
therapy, retail therapy, whatever.
Yeah, but not flush and pod therapy. What I told Craig was our similar deal of like, hey, it's your money, you do what you want. I said that, hey, if there's a local game store with sanctioned events, you would do well to figure out what events they sanction, and maybe if you want to jump into that community, buy that deck. But you can also do the box opening thing and just like play limited, like we talked about a lot today. Craig came back to me and said that they don't actually have stores near them that like run events, and so he's just gonna stick with like the box opening and doing like building decks with boxes. And like we talk about a lot, I don't think you can ultimately go wrong. Like as long as you have people to play with, and B, are comfortable with the money you're spending, like it, it's
your money. Again, we've talked about that any number of times. It's your money. You choose what you want to do with it and how you want to spend it and how you want to engage. For my 2 cents, it would be see if you can find people to draft and buy the box, draft the box, and get a little bit of an understanding of how the heroes work that way. I think that is informative. God, I just wish there was more drafting to be done with this game, but it's such a good draft experience in most sets. Like some sets are Monarch, but for the most part, the draft experiences are pretty decent. WTR being the pinnacle of.
It was so good.
So good.
Could you imagine a better format to like have a season of like good limited based around? That's what I want PTQ limited to feel like, by the way. Every week you just go to a draft, man. Like I know that like player pools are limited.
Or sealed. I will play WTR sealed until
I'll play
I
sealed
bleed
for
from
sure.
Like,
Morgan McCarl and I, when we stayed in the hotel in Indianapolis, we played we built 2 sealed decks apiece out of a box he bought, ED Gen bought at the store, and it was great. No, No, but yeah. So I
Let's
mean,
up Morgan for DJ buying.
yeah, it was great. We had fun. No, yeah, like I know that the player base in a lot of communities is such that like it's hard to get people out on one night, let alone two. But like I think back to like grinding Magic days. There was like F&M on Friday, but on Tuesday there was also draft, and then on Wednesday you went and played Modern, right? And then on Thursday there was like a standard event, and then Friday was whatever F&M event you wanted to play, right? You went to a store based on that. There's not enough of that.
We had the same type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so nice. Like Tuesday you went and drafted. And then on Friday, if you wanted to draft, you did the draft F&M. If you wanted to do the standard F&M, yeah, right. And Fab structures things a little bit differently, and like the player pool is such that it's a little harder to get multiple people. There's not a big enough fish in the sea, but that would be so nice.
Before the heat death of OP, we were like the local game store here that I frequented, Mayhem Comics and Games. Shouts out to Mayhem James and everybody else. Would fire standard, modern, and draft with 16 plus players in every event every Friday.
Yeah, it was great.
So you were just fed. Whatever you wanted to be fed, you were fed.
Yep.
And they would also alternate legacy in there too. So if you wanted fed, you're going to get fed.
Yeah, Comic Town had a similar structure every week, and it was great. Yeah. I don't know, like, we are a little bit away from that in Fab, I feel like, nationally.
Well, there's not multiple formats for like
constructed.
Full constructed, you know, there's Blitz, but being able to have multiple CC formats, is, you know, our 60 card constructed formats, basically non-Abby formats, isn't there yet, and that just comes with time. Yeah.
Like there's a lot to consider in Flesh and Blood about whether we want that, or I think naturally we will get it with the concept of time, like you said. But there's a lot to talk about with that part. But so I got that question from Craig, and it was similar to a lot of what we get, but it was unique in the fact that he doesn't have an established community that he can just go play. Like him and his buddies are like, they just bought the game. Yeah. And like, that's cool too. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But keep emailing us.
Right. As always, you can find us on Twitter at FlushPod.
We can get our possum update. Hold on.
Yeah.
Our Discord. It's going to come when I do my Twitter, because I don't have Twitter stuff to talk about. Let me start over. As always, you can find us on Twitter at FlushPod. You can join our Discord. The link will be in the show notes. You can give us a 5-star review on Apple. You can subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. As you heard, you can reach out to us via email at flushandpod@gmail.com. My Twitter is at AbbyD83. I tweet various things, usually animal pictures, possums. Possums were in the league. However, let me tell you about this raccoon that Jordan and I saw the other day.
Trash panda it is. Go on.
Oh my God. It was, first off, this trash panda was 30 to 35 pounds. Minimum.
Oh, it was a fatty.
It was a big boy, and he was in our trash can when we came home one night, and like when we have it down on the street, there's a tree right by our driveway, and he just got out and then just sat on the tree, and we were just like looking at each other, and I was trying to get my phone out to take a picture. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. So now I'm open to either a possum or a trash panda.
We were just kind of vibing with this raccoon. It was kind of nuts.
Was oh my God, it was adorable.
Like I was kind of scared it was going to try to jump into our car at one point. I didn't get a good picture.
That's
all
like
I wanted.
That sounds like a 3 edible raccoon, where you're just going to vibe with the raccoon.
I wanted to bring it inside. Our fat cat also loves raccoons. There was
what is this world?
Yeah, it's kind of nuts actually.
It was really weird. So we were just sitting in the living room last year, I think.
Yeah.
And we had our like sliding glass door open, so there was just a screen, and she's just sitting with her nose against the screen, which is what she normally does. And we look over, and she's just nose to nose through the screen with this raccoon.
Yeah,
on our
deck.
Was
just on our deck,
just like
chilling, just giving each other a sniff,
just best friends.
Yeah, it wasn't even like an aggressive like "who the fuck are you" sniff. It was just like we're just sitting here. We're just both two people sitting here. So like I like leap out of the chair like because it's just a screen between her and this like wild animal. Yeah. Oh, she loves the raccoons.
She loves a good raccoon. So yeah, now it's a possum or a raccoon. Either way,
your cat is a unit And it sounds
She
like that
is.
panda is a unit.
Yes.
It was a big.
It was a
raccoon.
big boy.
Our
I
cat.
just wanted to squeeze him.
Shout out to our cat though. She has lost weight. So
She has.
I'm gonna Google. Can you crossbreed a raccoon and a cat?
Oh god.
She also has. She has a raccoon tail.
Oh,
I'll have to find a picture.
She's
of it.
got she's graying hair
She's
or whatever.
got the
And a
rings
cat.
on her
This
tail.
does come up on Twitter. Okay.
They cannot, according to this quick Google.
Yeah, according to quick Google, they cannot. Although people say they have, which is probably just bullshit. People say
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay, time to plug me, I guess.
Yeah, you go ahead and do you.
I'm really glad that I already have a pretty good tan from Arizona because there's so much shade here from Abby that I'm pretty sure that I just could never get fucking sunlight again. But you can find me on Twitter at Logan Peterson, tweeting about mostly Flesh and Blood anymore. I will occasionally engage with the Magic crowd, and baseball season has started, so baseball is going to happen. Otherwise, hop in the Discord. The link will be in the show notes as per always, unless Jordan fucks up and decides to not put it there. And hop into the Discord and go ahead and interact. We are very, 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 very responsive in the Discord outside of Abby, who has office hours. But yeah, get in there and engage with us, engage with the show however you want to. Again, at FleshPod, I also pseudo manage that Twitter account. So either way is a good way to get at me.
Mostly you.
Yeah, probably.
It's not me.
Well, there's that.
There's that. Best way to get a hold of me is on Twitter at I'm Jermaine, or like Logan said in our Discord. I'm always tweeting about Flesh and Blood. A lot of baseball and cricket this week.
T20.
T20 is a good format. More of a test man myself, but I do like T20. If you want to talk more about that, what'd you say?
I like a T20.
That's fair. It's very baseball adjacent. It's the most baseball adjacent for sure. If you want to talk more about this and want to know what the hell we're talking about, jump into our Discord. We have the Sports and Gambling channel, and we talk about that a lot in there.
And if you're experiencing existential dread, we do have the Kierkegaard Corner.
Oh my god! And people,
everybody
it's
to post
great.
the dread in.
It's great.
There's a lot of dread in there.
If you don't want to go
shit.
big sad, don't click on it. Like, it's not, people like are humorous about their big sad, but like it is just kind of a place to be big sad on the internet, and like it's chill.
I literally talked about my dead father in that channel, so please be aware that it is big sad.
Yeah, it's it's a vibe, man. If you want to talk about the heat death of the universe, if you want to talk about the heat death of the universe, pointlessness of life, like if you're just like, man, what is the point of existing?
You can just not go to that channel and talk about.
You can just go to the Pet Pig channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or you could just go back and forth and just like sad
dread
and happy.
Pets,
and just,
dread pets, dread pets.
Yeah. But
there you go.
just aside, our Discord is dope. It is a fun vibe for sure.
It is a good time. So you should get in there. We will be announcing our next giveaway next week. So
It'll be our 20th show.
I've said this with like every show that we've talked about. Since the moment you told me you want to do this podcast, I never thought we would make 20.
I never thought we'd have more than like 20 listeners.
Yeah.
Well, also that I assumed we would get to like no joke 5 shows and then just be like, yeah, okay, like let's pack it up.
Next week. 20 times Abby has put up with my bullshit and Jordan's bullshit. Well, 19. She missed a show. But
that's right.
That is saint-like patience. Basically, if she makes it to 52, it is beautification. She makes it to 104, it's canonization. Like the Catholic Church can no longer ignore her miracle. So, yeah, we definitely did not know that this little corner of the Flesh and Blood community was needed. We just wanted to talk about the things we want to talk about.
Yep.
And it's so cool to have all of you around with us. Like it's just a blast and we love it. I mean, I love it. I'm sorry to speak for other people, but
no, that's
don't
great.
Speak for me.
I wouldn't. Jesus Christ. I would not trade what we have going for anything right now. It's just awesome.
I might for $1 million.
Okay, for $1 million.
If somebody, if like Arsenal Pass came to me and was like, "Listen, we're feeling a little crowded out of the market. Here's $1 million. Go away." I'd be like, you know what, Brendan, that's fine.
Yeah, if they
then
it only takes dos comas, I'm gone. But
then we take the $1 million.
2 commas.
Oh, 2 commas.
There's at least 7 figures.
Yeah.
Tres comas means there's a B.
Ooh,
and then
I take that too.
we do the Bread and Serial Killer podcast.
Oh yeah, no, it'll turn into Bread and Serial Killers. Yeah,
So
absolutely happening.
that's on the back burner.
Like, that one might
Flushing
happen
yeast.
regardless. Flushing yeast.
There you go.
Yeast and pod, sir. Like, a little bit of respect.
Well, so yeast and pod doesn't capture the serial killer. Serial killer.
No, but it gets the yeast.
Next week on Flush and Pod.
All right. That is all for this week. We will talk to all of you next week. Bye.